It's my great pleasure to introduce today's commencement speaker, someone who represents what makes the Jones School such a special place. Al Danto is a beloved member of our faculty, a passionate entrepreneur, and an inspiring mentor to generations of students. He is a proud graduate of the Executive MBA class of 2000, and since returning to Rice as a faculty member, he has helped shape our entrepreneurship curriculum and culture. Al teaches many courses like New Enterprise and Enterprise Acquisition courses and their hands-on e-labs, where students don't just learn business theory, they launch companies and pursue acquisitions. His classroom is often the starting point of life-changing ventures, and his impact extends well beyond graduation. In 2023, the alumni honored Al by asking him to deliver the last lecture at our reunion weekend, a testament to his lasting influence and connection. Beyond Rice, Al brings more than 30 years of real-world entrepreneurial experience. He launched his first company at the age of 24 and built it into a nationally recognized firm, and he has since led and advised numerous ventures through acquisition, growth, and successful exits. Al is a multiple-time recipient of teaching awards at Rice, and his students often describe him as transformational, a teacher who not only instructs, but truly believes in their potential. Al has walked the MBA path himself and continues to light the way for so many others. Please help me welcome our class of 2025 commencement speaker, Al Danto.
Before we start, I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here today. And I'm probably the least likely person, if you look back on my life, that I would be standing here today. And I attribute it all to you, to Rice, and everyone that's come before me. Before I start, my wife, Donna, she's not here today. She had surgery, a very successful surgery. She's discharged, and she's watching it live stream. So I want to give a shout out to her. And my 94-year-old father. If you figured out the IT pops, you're watching as well. I'd really like to thank Dean Rodriguez, our family and friends who support 2025 for letting me be a part of your incredible journey. It's truly an honor. And I want to welcome you to the alumni side of the business family right now, where you'll be for life. You'll be there for life. But before we begin, I want to recognize this for what it truly is. It's an opportunity for me to cold call you one more time. So if you remember, if you were a student in my class, I told you that before you graduated, you would have to recite the CAP-M. James Weston is going to be standing there, the stage before you walk up, and if you can't recite the CAP-M, he'll send you back to your seat. And Mark Yang, Ali Ather, Adrian Duran, are you here? What is the answer to every universal question in an MBA classroom? It depends. What is the answer to every real-world question? It depends. So congratulations, you've learned it all. But don't worry, although many of you will have lifelong nightmares of giving another presentation, you've done everything it takes to earn your MBA. That can never be taken away from you. It's something you'll have for the rest of your life. And you came into Rice as an engineer, an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer, or another discipline. But you're leaving here as a true leader, one that can really orchestrate all the disciplines that it takes to coordinate a business. And I want you to remember one thing, an MBA, what it stands for. It stands for Master About Anything. So now you've learned that. Today is a celebration of what you've achieved, but I want to talk about something that you won't find on your resume, in a transcript, or in a diploma. I want to talk to you about family, and not just your family and your friends who supported you and got you through this, but the family you'll be a part of for the rest of your life. That's the Rice business family. And let me tell you how I know that's true. At 37, I made the decision most people called crazy, ridiculous, to go back to school, sell my company, and go back to school and get my MBA. And I applied to Rice, I got in, I was accepted, and I was thrilled. But a week before classes start, the reality hit. I picked up a laptop for the first time. I didn't know Word, I didn't know Excel, and I thought PowerPoint was something you plugged into an electrical outlet. But I called the program director, Kay Henry, to officially drop out of the program. I said I was going to drop out. And she didn't answer the call, or I think I wouldn't be standing here today. But then my wife, sensing my angst and being overwhelmed, she called our neighbor, Dr. Joe Galati. Dr. Joe's here today. He's over there. And Joe talked me off the ledge. He said, look, make it through the first weekend. That's all you need to know. Quit after that. And I said, okay, after all, I put my entire $48,000 for my MBA on my credit card and I had the miles for it. So I wasn't about to lose that. But everything changed the first morning of class. I walked in the first class, I met my classmates, and the professor, Al Napier, knew all of our names. He knew our background. He looked us in the eye and he said, you're here because of the unique skills and experience that you bring. And we're here to make sure you'll make it through. And I knew at that moment that I was in a special family. We're a diverse group, engineers, artists, entrepreneurs, and yes, we even had a lawyer. But we shared two things, complete uncertainty and a deep fear of accounting. But like you, we made it through together. We were supported and leaning on each other. We were motivated and supported by our professors and the Jones School leadership. My classmate Heather Kopecki, who was here today as well, and I started a business in the New Enterprise class. The class project became a real business and a living case for Rice classes. I began to guest lecture and ultimately teaching a class on entrepreneurship and leading various entrepreneurship initiatives here. The founders of the entrepreneurship program, Al Napier and Ed Williams, took me to lunch one day, and they said, we want to pass this torch onto you to carry over what you've done. And that's what I have done. Looking back, I almost let the fear of something new and uncertain stop me from obtaining everything that I've done since I've graduated from Rice. The entire trajectory of my life changed when I walked off the stage, and will yours. People will look at you differently. You'll have a Rice MBA behind your name. New doors will open, and you will end up somewhere that you never dreamed of. Trust me. My second story is a little more personal. In May of 2022, I was diagnosed with a large non-malignant tumor on my optic nerve. I was losing my sight, I was losing my field of vision, and I had the tumor removed after 2 8-hour surgeries. But then, after a week I was discharged, I had a life-threatening pulmonary embolism that very few people survive. My daughter, who is here as well today, quick thinking saved my life. She noticed something was really wrong. Despite my protest, she called an ambulance, and I was rushed to Methodist Hospital and placed on life support for 13 days. Not many people survive 13 days on life support. When I came off life support, my cardiovascular surgeon, Dr. Bavari, told me I came closer to death than perhaps any patient he'd ever seen. He said I survived for a reason, and now I had a purpose to fulfill. When I asked him what I could do, he said, take this gift, share your story, and make a difference. So I continued. Thank you. The Methodist staff nicknamed me El Milagro, the miracle. I spent 70 days in the hospital, many of them just fighting to survive. But I wasn't alone. Family was there, my wife, my son, my daughter, close friends like Tom Easley, Dave Linda, but most importantly was my Rice family. The outpouring of support was overwhelming. Cooper Etheridge, Don Poor, Kyle Judah covered my classes. Kaylin Bond and Barb Ostick coordinated everything behind the scenes. They didn't just step up, they stood by me. My classmates and former students reached out and brought meals. Adrian Tromel brought a good company pie. Maya Pomeroy, she brought me chicken soup. My family and my Rice family were there when I needed them, and they will be there when you need them. They always will be. In early September that year, I was discharged, and I started my rehab at TIER. My rehab said, set a recovery goal for the first of the year. And I said, I want to be back in the classroom on October 22nd. And they said, set something more realistic. I said, no, that's where I'll be, even if I have to be sitting in a chair like Ed Williams did in his last couple of years. I want to be back in that classroom. I made it back on October 22nd in the Shell Auditorium with 85 students. Several of those went on to start or acquire a company. So getting back in that classroom impacted them, and it's something they probably would not have been able to do. I have a couple takeaways from this. Number one, in fulfilling my commitment to my doctors, and especially Joe Galati, who's here today, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Health is everything. Control what you can through diet, exercise, regular checkups, and pay attention to your body. Pay attention to it. If something's off or doesn't feel right, take care of it right then and there. And the doctors also said I was able to survive 13 days on life support because some of the shape I was in. I played ice hockey for 55 years, and I continue to play today. The second one is life is short. We're not promised tomorrow. Find something that gives you purpose and is bigger than yourself, a reason to stay beyond a paycheck, and surround yourself with people who truly care about your mission. And that's what the Rice Business Family is. There's nothing more rewarding than seeing the new building going up, seeing the increase in our rankings, and working with committed students and external relations on projects like the Veteran Business Battle, the Entrepreneurship Through Acquisition Conference, the Women in Leadership Conference, the Startup Ideas, and so many more. So in closing, I would like to say this. You're not leaving Rice Business. You've earned and are moving to the alumni family for life. This family, your classmates, professors, and this community will be there in good times, and more importantly, they will be there in the challenging times. They will listen to your dumb business ideas, they'll make connections, and they'll support you in any way possible. So if you're laid off, you need to network, pick up the phone. If your startup fails and you need a shoulder to cry on, pick up the phone. If your startup idea hits $100 million in revenue, pick up a checkbook and write Dean Rodriguez a nice check. I know he'll appreciate it. It'll be put to great use as well. But more importantly, do the simple things. Answer an email, take the call, respond to LinkedIn, hire or invest in an alum, go to your reunion, say yes to a coffee, just show up. You will make a difference, and it will make a difference to you. Always remember, one day, you may be the person making the call, sending out the email. You may be the person that needs to be picked up. And I guarantee you, everyone in this room will pick you up. Let me leave you with this. Warren Buffett was asked by a college student just last weekend, if you watched the Berkshire Hathaway shareholders conference, a college student asked him what was one piece of advice he would give her. And he said he would surround himself with the right people who are heading in your direction. And ultimately, who you surround yourself will end up where you are in life. Look around you today at your family, your friends, and your Rice Business Family. I think you're in good shape when it comes to that. I know they'll be there for you, and you will be there for them, because that's what families do, and that's what the Rice Business Family does. As you go forward, remember this, and Dan Maxwell, this is to you for everything you've done. You can't start a fire worried about your little world falling apart. Anyone know who that's from? Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen. Do something that goes beyond yourself. And when you do, always remember you won't be doing it alone. I'd like to say congratulations to the class of 2025. Welcome to the alumni family. You'll be a part of this family for life. And when you are 100 years old, I expect to see a Rice Business bumper sticker on your walker. Thank you, and reach out anytime.
That's beautiful, Al. Thank you so much.